Welcome to Overshadowed, everybody, the only podcast about the siblings and spouses of famous people. I'm Zach.
I'm Charles.
And we all just celebrated Martin Luther King Day. I don't know if we all celebrated it.
I skipped it.
I actually went to a holiday party at Governor's Comedy Club, and it was on MLK Day, but it was advertised as a holiday party. So if I was like, Happy MLK Day, they were like, Happy Holidays.
They mean, yeah, exactly.
Not all of us celebrate.
We don't say Merry Christmas.
That's right. So we all know about MLK's dream, but you probably don't know he had a brother, A.D. Alfred Daniel King, who was by his side the whole time during the Civil Rights Movement. And he also was responsible for the Fair Housing Act that was kind of his big legacy. If MLK had the Civil Rights Bill, A.D. King had the Fair Housing Act. But a lot of people don't even know that MLK had a brother. Did you know he had a brother?
Nope.
I didn't either, but he was right by his side, and he was kind of like a mini MLK, but MLK got all the fame. And A.D. was also assassinated. So we're going to cover all that today on the podcast. But before we tell you about A.D. and his impact alongside MLK, we got to tell you about kind of the time period. So the Civil Rights Movement started in the mid-'50s with Rosa Parks when she refused to leave her seat on the bus, the original Karen, for good. For good this time.
I think that's on her headstone.
The original Karen?
Yeah.
So in 55, there was a Montgomery bus boycott where basically for like a year after when she refused to give up her seat, no black people were riding the buses.
Yeah.
And like 70, it was kind of crazy because like you had to give up your seat if you were a black person, but 75% of the people on the bus were black.
Yeah, it's weird. So you think
like
it was
one white guy comes on and he's just like, eeny, meeny, miny, fuck
you.
you. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you just have to stand.
I wonder how you did that too. Was it a thing? Because on the subway you do that where it's kind of an unspoken, like, here, you fat pregnant lady.
Right.
And,
she's both.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has cravings and she's indulging them.
Yeah. I don't give it up for a regular lady.
No. Equality.
No. Yeah, it has to be a little older or pregnant or
I saw a lady
kids.
lying down on the subway recently, but didn't look homeless.
I've seen a
You
lady
ever seen that?
Yeah, I've seen a lady
Taking a
take
nap.
off her shoes, and I'm like,
Well, that's I think her first day of being homeless.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm now homeless. I've decided that I will not wear shoes. So
it must have been awkward though. Like, do you just come on and you're just like,
Well, I think it was kind of like they thought it was the way it should be, you know.
Yeah. Brutal.
In the midst of this Montgomery bus boycott, they organized MLK and a bunch of other black leaders the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, the SCLC, which, by the way, I think I'm dyslexic. Every time I tried to type this, it was like SLSC, NCLS.
A couple of C's, yeah.
A lot of C's, a lot of S's. I really think it's creeping up on me. But the SCLC is an African-American civil rights organization based in Atlanta that helped organize and coordinate demonstrations and like had some organization to all of the emotion and actions that people wanted to take. Like they needed like a central body.
Yeah.
Right, you needed someone to like be like, okay, we're going to be here on this day. So that's what the SCLC is. It's made up of students, of pastors and their congregations. Like it's just a big collective black organization that furthers civil rights. A.D. King, they each lived to be 39. A.D. King died on my birthday, July 21st.
Oh wow.
Yep. So maybe
reincarnate.
You said it.
You've done good work.
You
are on his path.
I'm on his path.
I
for
said
sure.
you always reminded me of a young AD.
Yeah, and that
you
makes
have the,
you ML.
Cue your accent.
Huh? No. You can't pimp out my MLK.
Come on, do it. You were pumped about it on the car ride.
I'm not doing it off the get. I'm not coming out hot with the
Give
MLK.
us a little sneak peek.
No.
Just give me AD. Give me MLK ordering at a Wendy's.
Somewhere I read. That is good, dude. I swear to God, if you play it side by side, you can't tell the difference. I swear to God.
Only do MLK impressions while you're on stage.
Yeah.
I think that's what this comes down to.
You think that in the energy of like a live setting, it would really do well?
I think it would kill.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
That's really nice.
You do have a long thing. I saw it. I didn't read it, but I was like, I hope this is good because this is
good.
a long
It's gonna be
joke.
good. Anyway,
Okay.
80s and MLK's dad was a famous minister, MLK Sr. And 80 wasn't really interested in the ministry. He was just being a kid, chasing girls. You know, remember the documentary? That one guy was like, "We like the girl, we chase the girl."
He was just laughing.
Yeah, but it's so we like the girl, we chase the girl.
And then he laughed. There was the documentary that we watched on A.D. King. It was this guy. They interviewed his friends. Were like, what was he like as a kid? And that's when he was like,
we like the girl, we chase the girl. Yeah, shout out to this documentary that was really informative about A.D. King. It's Unsolved History, Life of a King. which is where we got a lot of this info.
Yeah, just like this next fact coming up. Did you know Martin Luther King and A.D. King went to the same college?
Oh, yeah.
They went to Morehouse College, but halfway through, by the way, A.D. King had a wife that he was with the whole time, and the wife is still crusading in his name.
Mhm.
She still goes out and speaks about A.D. King,
Yeah.
but I'm forgetting her name right now, Naomi. They first got pregnant when they were 17 at Morehouse College, and they went to Martin Luther King Sr., and they said, what do we do? He's a man of God. He goes, that future pastor's got to come out of you.
Mhm.
There's no abortion. I don't even know how abortion worked for people of color back then. Could you go and get an abortion?
Yeah, I don't. That's a good question.
I wonder if it was something that was like, because right now it's still a little half and half depending on what state you were
I was surprised that MLK Sr. even mentioned abortion.
Yeah.
I thought that was such a foregone thing. Like,
Yeah.
it's not even up for discussion.
Yeah, and they were like, what do we do? And I was like, oh, are you guys thinking about
Yeah,
doing it?
yeah.
So he goes, you have to have the
It
kid.
makes me wonder if they were wondering, because like the dad was like, not gonna happen,
Yeah,
and
you
they
have
were
to-
like, flip of a coin. What do you
yeah,
think?
come on, Pop. I kind of want to live
It
my
is
life.
tough because
I like to
they're-
chase the girl.
Their daughter, yep. I don't want to just catch the first one and settle down. But it is weird because you hear all those arguments about abortion, like, oh well, this person wouldn't be alive, and we love this person. I did feel that about AD's daughter, Alvida.
Mm-hmm.
She's such a sweetheart.
Yeah, it could have been her.
Yeah, I know.
And Nick Cannon.
Nick Cannon was
Mom almost got aborted.
well. Glad he got fired out of that.
Yeah.
Mrs.
We
Cannon,
wouldn't have Cannon.
Nick Cannonball. So there's a weird gap after he drops out of college, 17. He's raising the kids, chase the girl, like the girl. From 47 to 59, 12 years, no one really knows what he did aside from be a dad. Like, I couldn't find anything about his job or what was going on
Maybe
in
doing
A.D. King's life.
some fun little side jobs.
Yeah, gigging,
Street magic.
DoorDash, street magic.
Yeah,
sure.
open mics.
Ski instructor,
Yeah.
treehouse builder. I'm sure all these jobs and more were open to African Americans at the time. But in 1959, that's where AD's life really starts to become impactful. That's when he joins the SCLC and the movement. He starts preaching. He becomes a minister, and he really gets involved in the civil rights movement. He really does everything that MLK does. He does the sit-ins. He does the picketing, the walking, the not hitting back,
You know what also
the getting
is-
beaten. He's everything that MLK is doing, AD is also doing.
He
with
was
him.
also very visible. When these documentaries that we watched.
He's right next to MLK.
In every picture of MLK, AD is right here, like.
Literally right there every time, and nobody knows he's his brother.
And they look very similar. He looks a
And
little.
it's not just because
No,
they're black.
I wasn't even thinking that, dude.
Yeah, I could tell in your eyes you were.
He just looks like a puffier. He looks like if MLK got stung by a jellyfish a little bit.
I mean,
Like,
I
they
think
look-
MLK looks like he played soccer, and AD looks like he played football. He's just stockier,
yeah,
just a bigger guy.
a little puffier.
You're
His face was a little
you're
swollen.
Really sticking on the
He had a
puffy.
swollen face.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sure,
Yeah,
swollen with justice.
yeah, swollen with justice.
Swollen with justice
for the people
That's
to live
right.
wherever they want to live.
That's right. A.D. King becomes a minister. He turns to the ministry, joins the SCLC, and is really doing well with recruiting members from like Atlanta colleges. He went to Morehouse, so he has those connections. From different ministries, he's a minister, so he has those connections. So he's bringing all these people into Birmingham, planning with Fred Shuttlesworth, a founding member of the SLC, planning this thing called Project Confrontation, which is going to be a mass demonstration where they flood white businesses and basically force white people in Birmingham's hand to be like, what are you going to do? Like, we're just going to hang
here.
out. We're going to break the law, civil disobedience, right? Just be here illegally. And what are you guys going to do about it? And when they went to Birmingham, they were looking at churches that they could kind of base their operations out of. Only 14 of 500 churches in Birmingham let them in.
Yes.
So, like, black people were worried about what was going to happen, because they're like, people could kill us.
Mm-hmm.
So the plan for Project C was to boycott businesses, sit in at lunch counters, segregated lunch counters, fill the jails, and then do public demonstrations on the street. And I think the most important thing about AD's involvement is that we all know that Martin Luther King was arrested in Birmingham, that he went to jail. He wrote this letter from Birmingham prison. Have you read it?
No.
Not even for school?
Probably for school.
Have you read it, Sean? That was beautiful. So we all know MLK from Birmingham, but the reason he was there is because of AD. AD was the guy who was bringing the organization and the bodies and being the details guy for Project C, Project Confrontation. And then MLK just brought in that like extra muscle of his weight as a leader. And it was like a hydra. Like you arrest one and then two more come.
Yep.
And
they had thousands.
People keep coming, and the jails are totally full. So now the streets are full with people sitting, just hanging out, just being like, hey,
protesting.
we want our rights, but no violence. So you want to say what happens next after like the sit-ins and they fill the jails?
You're talking about with
Project C, with
they
Bull.
released the dogs and the host. Yeah, so Bull, what was his last name?
Bull Connor.
Bull Connor comes in.
His first name is like Thessalonius.
Ooh, there's a Thelonious. Is that it?
I think there might be an extra syllable, but Thessalonius. He's
He's
a bad guy. He doesn't deserve to be remembered.
Call me Bull.
Call me Bull.
Call me Bull.
I couldn't believe his name was Bull. Is that his middle name?
Well, it's probably a nickname. I can't imagine. He probably said
It struck me more as a cuck than a bull.
Probably was like, here comes the horns.
Yeah, and we're like, all right, buddy.
So they sick.
And he just turns the hoses on black people.
Yeah, Jesus.
We're like, oh my god, he has last words. He has like a catchphrase before he sicks the dogs on people. Jesus Christ!
Here come the horns.
Yeah, he thinks he's like a superhero.
That's like it's the worst version of Clark Kent because he's like police by day, KKK by night. It's just. I wonder if anybody. Okay, anyway, sorry. I was gonna say. I wonder if anybody ever lit a KKK guy on fire just because it's so much cloth.
Oh, probably very flammable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I bet there's a video out there. Like when you fuck up lighting a firework. Of a KKK guy going to burn a cross, and then he's like, "Oh no!"
And he's like rolling, just yeah.
And they're like, "He's so dedicated."
Yeah,
that guy.
He's making a
he walks
sacrifice
the
out
walk.
of himself.
He walks the walk. A lot of us talk the talk.
He's like one of those monks,
which I hate, by the way.
Yeah, so everything's going according to plan in Project C. They fill the jails, and now they're doing all the street protests. And
also, did you see any of the videos from the jails? People are like smiling.
Cool. Yeah,
they're like, "Fuck yeah!"
Yeah, and they're like eating apples and passing it around. They're like,
"Wow, we got one apple in here. We snuck an apple in. I don't want to know how. Don't tell me how.
Yeah,
smells weird."
This is from Granny's Smith.
But it was cool. There was a lot of young kids. There was a lot of like hot young college kids. Just
I think they were
we're
like
in jail.
Yeah. It was, I wonder if anybody got a little frisky in the jail.
I don't know how long they were in there, but it was certainly crowded enough that you could find a little hiding place amidst the crowd.
Yeah, or maybe the love of your life you found in the jail.
Maybe.
How fun is that story?
Maybe.
So then everybody's on the streets. So people in the jail, that's fun. Now they're like, okay, cool.
That's fun.
That's fun. People, that's got to be a good time. You in the jail?
I mean, I'd rather be.
I would prefer the jail too, because now the next wave of people come like, okay, we're going to do our civil disobedience on the street. We're going to do public examples of everything. And then Bull Connor comes in and he goes, it's my time to shine. Guys, you know how I ordered 100 dogs last month?
Well, this was why.
Yeah,
I
wondered why there was a bunch of dogs in that room doing nothing.
I mean, I would say it's probably more hoes than dogs. I think we're overestimating the dogs.
I heard there was 100.
101
dogs.
I didn't see a lot of Dalmatians.
You did not see a lot of dogs?
No.
Everything I saw was dogs. I thought about that. If I wanted, I think I would have. Would you have attacked the dog?
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Non-violence, but no, the dog doesn't know. I mean, I would defend I would just try to not get bit.
At that point, though, the dog is an
You think
enemy.
you're punching the dog in the eye like it's a
would.
shark?
Like, if it gets
Just one swift. Just get out of there.
You can't have to get on top of it and start grounding. No, seriously, the only way to take out the dog. You have to dominate it, otherwise it's going to keep coming for you.
Yeah.
You got to piss on it a little.
Yeah.
You're mine now.
Actually, number one way, stick your thumb up the dog's ass.
Yeah,
Civil
it's true.
disobedience.
It's a real thing.
No way.
Yeah.
Caesar Milan, you fucking thumb that dog in the ass.
Thumb the dog.
Yeah, because pit bulls latch, so you got to thumb it.
That's the eject.
Yeah, you got to eject, and then it'll come and go to sleep.
Oh, just like me.
Yeah,
That's how you get me off you too.
Yeah, you're the pit bull.
FYI, guys, if I go nuts, just put your thumb in my ass. I'll deactivate.
He'll come. Twist.
So Bull thinks he's doing the Lord's work by just spraying fire hoses on people, but this is kind of exactly what the movement needs. They need some national like all the press is there. This has been going on in Birmingham for 9 days. Mm-hmm. So by the time that Bull just lets loose this crazy excessive force,
wrath, I would call it,
all the cameras are there.
Yeah,
there's the huge bushel of microphones in front of him. Before a press
there's
conference.
A boom.
Yeah, there's a boom in front of everybody getting sprayed. Like, everybody is seeing
It's like an
this.
NFL game. You can hear the dogs barking.
Yeah, you hear the crack, and you're like, oh, that must have hurt.
Yeah. They're mic'd up.
So everybody, they've mic'd everybody up. So everyone is seeing this brutality, which causes JFK to send in federal negotiators. And those guys are like, okay, we got to sign a truce. So the white business owners are like, we will desegregate our businesses if you guys will stop protesting, if you'll get off the streets, let traffic flow normally. It was really a traffic
it was really
issue.
Hey guys, we're all late. What do you think we're on? Your people time?
But
all right. Cut that out. Cut that out.
That's fun.
No, I don't know.
That's fun.
I don't know.
That's fun. We'll post it on Reddit. You won't believe how racist this podcast. Here's my question. Do you think they wanted it to escalate to that effect to get this movement going? Because in recent years, when excessive force has been used, like unfortunately to people's death, like George Floyd or something, obviously that wasn't his intention. He sparked a whole Black Lives Matter movement. Obviously that wasn't intentional. Do you think they were trying to force some kind of public display of brutality from whites on peaceful blacks? Or do you think they were just trying to get attention and that's what happened? Like, do you think it was in their minds that they're like, we're going to get beat up?
I do think it was in their minds.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It makes sense. It's genius.
Yeah. Because they spoke nonviolence so much. Like, no matter what, don't do anything. And I think there was even a part in the documentary where they were like, we were marching to get beaten up. Like, we knew we were going to get beaten up. Happen. Yeah.
Maybe they saw it happen in India, too, with Gandhi. And they're like, yeah, it's going to be kind of a similar structure.
Yeah, I do believe I don't think they would have predicted hoses and dogs. I think they just thought they were going to, because throughout all this, people get roughed up. You see A.D. King get punched in the face, and then he's given a speech with those sick-ass
Morpheus
Oakleys.
glasses.
Yeah, he's like some sick Oakleys.
You could pick the red pill
or
the blue pill. One of them is the Civil Rights Bill, and one of them is the Fair Housing Bill.
Is that
That's
AD?
just me. That's just me being fun.
The red pill?
That was almost Morgan Freeman, honestly. Anyway, so yeah. They are getting. I had a point with them getting beat up and stuff.
They're getting beat up.
They're getting beat.
They're getting wrecked.
Shit.
This might have been the first display of police dogs. I mean, when else are dogs being used before this?
To chase down slaves.
Slave catching?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. God,
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
It's pretty rough.
Dogs can really get a scent for anything.
Pretty rough history. Yeah, dogs are man's best friend, which means they're black man's worst enemy.
Yeah.
They're white man's best friend. You know? Yeah, they've been. Yeah. I mean, this is crazy, but like in Crown Heights, everyone is scared of my girlfriend's dog, who's a Dachshund Chihuahua mix. But it's like I feel like there's like a built-in fear of dogs. Because of that, just the history of hundreds of years of dogs, like, being your enemy.
Could
be. At the request of a white guy.
So now even when
they're
you
just following orders. I want to make that clear. White guys, Hitler, dogs are just the lowly Nazis. Yeah. The rough.
So now it's to the point you think what they see a dachshund and they're like,
I don't know. I don't know if that's a problematic theory, but I'd like to talk about skull size next. Anyway, so after 9 days of all this hoopla going on.
That's a good word for it.
Yeah, it was a bit of hoopla.
A lot of hoopla. Hoses and hoopla. And JFK sends in federal negotiators. And then on May 10th, they signed the Birmingham Truce Agreement to desegregate the shops, lunch counters, drinking fountains. I did think it was interesting that they were like, we got to sit at the lunch counters. Because it made me wonder if the booths were not up for the movement. If they were a little too afraid.
If they're like, well, we'll go for the counters. We're not going to get the booths.
What are we, crazy?
Come on, that's too much. And even in the law, it was like, now lunch counters are desegregated.
Yeah.
What about the booths? Can they sit at the booths or no?
I don't think a lot of people know this, but booths weren't overturned until 92.
Yeah.
The year of the booth.
Yep. John Wilkes.
Yeah.
The day after the Birmingham Truce and the desegregation is implemented, there's bombings.
At AD's house.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's wild that AD was visible to everybody else. It's just along the way.
I mean, his house, where his family lived, where his kids lived, got bombed. Two bombs.
Everybody knew who he was back then.
Now you don't even know who he is.
I no idea who
he is. But
he
was a prime target.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody knew who he was. Everybody was like, this is the right-hand man. It's very obvious they work very closely together. We got to kill him.
He's the capo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to kill this guy. And then there's this part of the documentary where it's like he walked in the house and was like, it's too quiet.
I've never once thought it's too quiet.
I've never been like, I'd be like, it's nice.
Yeah.
It's nice in here.
Peaceful.
Yeah. I wonder if bombs back then were just obvious to hear. It's just like really loud ticking.
I don't know.
Like, does anybody hear that? Because it was very instinctual the way they tell the story. Where he's like, there's a bomb, because then he's like, run!
Yeah.
And it's like, what? Really? Is that how it happened? Or did something explode far enough away that then they were like, oh, fuck, a bomb.
So they run out of the house, and then they look back. A second explosion erupts, and the whole front of the house is gone. Mm-hmm. And there's also a third explosion at a hotel where MLK was staying. So his house got destroyed, but the only thing that happened to MLK that day, besides from going to jail, his hotel that he left got bombed. You know what I mean? The impact to AD's life was much bigger. his house got bombed, and apparently immediately the streets were flooded. People started just rioting, just like throwing rocks, just getting rowdy because they're like, this is not what we fought for. Bombs. I can't be nonviolent against bombs. It's crazy. And then AD got up on a car and was like, no retaliation. He said, my friends, we've had enough problems tonight. If you're gonna kill someone, kill me. Stand up for your rights, but with nonviolence.
I think this is really rooted in having a father that was a pastor. To really be brought up in someone who is like compassionate.
Turn
and
the
love.
other cheek.
Yeah, because otherwise I don't think I could. I think if somebody tried to blow me up, I'd be like, let's just kill him. If it was me, and I'd be like, well, let's just kill
I'd turn
everybody.
a blind eye. I would not turn the other cheek.
Yeah,
I would throw as many rocks as you need to.
I'd be like, who knows a guy with grenades? Let's just go. And then I would just throw them at every KKK guy's house. I mean, there's no way.
Right.
I would get all those students that came to, all the sit-ins and stuff, be like, new plan.
Yeah.
Just go kill everybody.
New plan.
We're just going to kill them all. It's fine.
Yeah.
There's a lot of us.
C now stands for carnage, all right? We're going for blood.
Yeah.
But it's just wild that AD got more. AD was collateral damage, but MLK was not in this instance.
Yeah, his life was ruined. I mean, your whole house is destroyed, and MLK is like, 24C, I think I left a jacket in there. That sucks.
It's a bummer, dude.
Fuck, dude. That was one of my favorites.
Had a really nice cigarette
Had the numbers
case.
of this girl I just met. Okay. I wonder if after speeches, MLK had groupies come up to the bus, like a musician.
I think probably during the speeches, he had one guy just like looking in the audience, like you. Like a rock star. Didn't they do that?
That's what I think. Yeah, no, I think that's still a thing. Is like the security or whoever. They're like they'll find the hottest.
The security.
Girls. Yeah, I think it's like the security of like the tour bus. Like you have like a security guy on there.
Not
too.
like the venue security.
Who know? I mean,
he's lifting up girls, just throwing them onto the stage.
Yeah,
they catch her in a net, put her back.
Yeah.
All right, so we covered Project C.
JFK bombing.
Oh yeah. Wait, let's open up this comp again, see where we're at. All right, so Project C and the Birmingham Truce ends in May 1963. Later that summer, now that they have a national audience, a national platform, the president has addressed this. MLK does the March on Washington, and there's 250,000 people. Look at how many people this is.
Yeah, it's huge. It takes up the
entire National Mall, or at least this one of the sides. I guess this isn't the whole National Mall. I think he's speaking from right there. I think that's where, I don't know how, were there speakers dispersed? Like, how many people can actually hear this?
Probably, I would say, not the ones in the back. I just can't imagine.
By the Washington Monument?
Yeah.
I don't think they can hear it either.
They're probably just taking a dip in the pool. Like, well, we're here.
Yeah.
May as well can't hear him.
Yeah, some whites are like, you got to get out. We're like, come on. They're like, no, we're in the back. We actually don't care.
Yeah.
We just wanted to get drunk. Just wanted to tailgate. I bet there's a few guys in there just here for
balls.
the party. Yeah, they're not really listening.
Throwing frisbees.
Yeah, it's
I'm mixed, so I don't really. I'm fine.
I kind of pick a side based on who's talking to me. So they're at the March on Washington, and he gives the "I Have a Dream" speech, and then JFK.
Good speech.
Great speech. I'm not going to do it, but that's not the bit. I'm not just going to.
Zach is going to take us back.
Let's step into our time machine.
March on Washington happens. MLK gives the "I Have a Dream" speech. Then JFK comes on and he gives an address.
He's like, I'm convinced.
He's like, this is pretty good.
Pretty good speech.
I like those lines.
Mm-hmm.
What was that, like an A.B.
Bars,
rhyme scheme?
dude. Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
Can I do an impression of you? I've been working on it for a while.
I have a dream. The
There
little
we
black
go.
boys, little white boys.
Yeah, that's
All right,
a good JFK.
guys.
Yeah,
I'm going MLK.
Do your MLK
all day.
Do your MLK joke as JFK. So JFK, he addresses the nation and he introduces the Civil Rights Bill, where black people will be given the same rights as all the rest of the citizens. Finally, looks like the country's going to start making some progress. Boom, Texas. JFK shot in the back of the head.
Boom, Texas.
Boom, Texas.
That's the name of my band.
Yeah, Boom, Texas, JFK.
Give it up for Boom, Texas. Yeah. You know, JFK and MLK were kind of like cut from the same cloth. They're both hot, charismatic, magnetic leaders who like loved women and got assassinated.
Yeah. Those are the leaders that you need to actually make any progress. Now you just have old people in Congress.
You need to be sexy.
You need to be hot.
Bring back sexy leaders.
We do need a sexy leader.
Yeah.
It's the same thing like if you're sexy, it's going to work.
That's why Obama was great.
Yeah, Obama was hot.
And Bush started okay, and then he really took a spiral. No. I'm talking about his looks are great. I mean, he started okay in terms of being a hot, good leader, and then he, took us to war.
He had the worst approval rating like ever, right at the end.
But in the beginning, I think people kind of
loved him. Yeah. And then the war. But
Obama was hot. Trump was a dive.
Clinton
was sexy.
Yeah,
Clinton
Bill was
sexy.
in there. And he played the sax.
Really?
Yeah. Didn't he?
Is that just a bit, or did he actually?
I think he might have. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
See, and then
Hillary's got hot sauce in her purse. You want to be cool? Learn jazz. Don't put hot sauce in your purse, lady.
Oh, it's Tabasco, Cholula, you fucking hack.
Yeah. What's the good hot sauce that everybody?
Valentina.
Valentina's
or
good.
Tapatio.
I love Tapatio too.
Tapatio is the tippity top for me.
Oh, really?
I love Tapatio, but yeah, we need like Kamala is kind of approaching it.
No,
like we do need.
We're trying to give. Everybody's just trying to give Kamala extra points because it's a
No, I
lady.
mean, I think I'd smash. Yeah,
I don't know if she's hot.
I think she'd tie you up in a real nice way. What do you think?
I have to see her again, but so far I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna stand with my.
I think she's a cutie patootie.
Would not bang. Just based off if I don't know. Yeah.
Cutie patootie. You don't know
All
about
right.
her policies. You're like, I don't want to bang just based on looks. I want to know about the content of her character.
She's all right looking. I don't know.
All right.
It's been a while since I thought about fucking Kamala.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think about it most days. Yeah, dude,
Yeah,
she's a hot lady.
That's a good picture.
That's
You're right.
Yeah.
Is
it's
that a
good
current picture? Is that like when you see a headshot of a comic and you're like, when was this taken?
Some people's headshots are gorgeous, and in person, you're like, lots changed.
Yeah, stuff has changed. All right, if that's the picture, I stand corrected. I was thinking she was much older looking.
Full body. Give me a full body.
pantsuit.
Type in full body Kamala images.
Yeah. I thought she was way older looking than that.
No. I think you'll just see her on a candid like CNN thing, just looking, natty light, and she looks good. I want to make her my wife, dude.
Dang, yeah, I thought she was way older looking. I had this image in my head of her like.
Oh, and what I was going to say,
mouth.
in terms of the hot leaders, I think there is a span during the the presidents where like LBJ, like Truman, they're kind of like these like bespectacled daddies. You know what I mean? I think they command a certain type of a sexual panache, something, some kind of power. I think that Biden doesn't have. Trump.
Yeah,
None of these guys could smash.
No, not at all.
They have bad posture. Their spines are disintegrating.
I wonder if we. Anyway, we'll get back into this. But JFK dies.
Well, you wonder what? What do you wonder?
I wonder if we will get back into a hot leader, but I just don't know who.
I think so. I think people are getting really sick of the over 80-year-old people leading the country.
That is the main thing.
Like,
that's why they're propping up DeSantis, I think, so much.
Yeah. How old is he?
40s. Yeah, but it's like, who else?
He could be hot. He could be hot.
He's kind of.
We got to lower the age for presidency, too. I want Jake Paul to be eligible right now.
You know what it should be is.
I'm going to write him in.
Yeah. There should be a fight to become the president. Jake Paul versus DeSantis.
Conor McGregor?
Yeah.
Maybe a three-way. Put him in the octagon.
Yeah, that'd be
all
nice.
together.
Whoever wins gets to.
Yeah.
Let's do Robot Wars. They get to build one of those cars, put it in the ring.
That'd be fun. Okay. And that's how you win the presidency?
Yeah, with a hammer.
Yeah.
Okay, so JFK gets assassinated. July 2nd, LBJ is now the new president, right? Mm-hmm. He gets on, and I wonder if there was a moment because LBJ takes over what JFK was doing. He's like, we're going to go ahead and we're going to continue.
Because you can't take over a guy who was shot on national TV's office and then be like, scrap it.
Yeah.
Throw it in the trash.
But he could.
Oh, that would not have been good. That would have been bad.
Who knows? What was the split then?
JFK's approval was so high, and he died, and he was so hot. People were so sad.
What was his approval when he was starting to do the civil rights stuff? There had to be a split.
JFK?
Yeah.
I think if you die in that way, you're going to be thought of well.
I think he was super popular, but I wonder what it would have is saying.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah.
I'm sure some people didn't like the fact that he was cozying up to MLK.
Mm-hmm.
But as a Democrat, I do as a Democrat. Let me tell you what I think of JFK, our hero.
First date gone wrong.
Yeah.
You ever hear as a Democrat on a first date? You know nothing's
if you're
happening.
saying as a Democrat, you're bombing that date. No, but I think he really. I think a lot of people thought what he was doing is right, and a lot of people in his party too. Like a lot, J. Edgar Hoover, Bull Connor. These guys are Republicans. Like they probably don't like JFK anyway.
Yeah, that's true. And they're like,
but they respect the office. And when the office is assaulted in a convertible car with your, brain splattered all over your wife, even the Republicans are going to be like, God, this guy was great.
You think Bull Connor would say?
No, not Bull Connor.
Yeah, okay, because there's a lot of people who, MLK won
Bull Connor's like probably better dead than red, Probably thought he was a communist.
So LBJ is the new president. He takes off right where JFK was, and he says, hey, everybody, we're going to go ahead. We're going to sign this bill. We're going to pass it through. We're going to move that bus. You got a brand new house that you can live in, black people. It's coming up soon.
Move that bus.
You remember the show, Extreme Home Makeover?
Move that
Bill. There are people.
Oh man.
Pass that Bill.
LBJ gets on the TV, national, and says this to the American people about the passage of the Civil Rights Bill. We must not approach the observance and enforcement of this law in a vengeful spirit. Its purpose is not to punish. Its purpose is not to divide, but end divisions, which is, to me, insane. Because you know when you write a paper, part of the job is to counter the arguments that people might have against your paper. He's doing that. He's like, guys, I know you think that I'm punishing you by enacting the Civil Rights Bill because, somebody shot JFK, so now you have to be in the same restaurants with black people.
Yeah.
I know it seems like a punishment. That's kind of what he's saying. He's like, but that's not what I'm doing, you know? He's kind of like, you guys, this is good for you. You got to eat your vegetables. But he's telling the people that they might not like this and they might think of it as bad. Do you know what I mean? It's weird to couch it in that punishment language.
Yeah, but it's also smart because he knows people out there are going to think that. And he's like, look, everybody, it's time to grow up. This isn't like a thing. The president isn't like, all right,
Grow
guys,
up.
This country's been fucking up for too long.
Yeah.
You're going to have to go to school with another person of color. And you wouldn't have had to if you weren't fucking up.
He's right. He is basically saying grow up. He's like, this has been too long.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but he's also speaking to all those idiots out there that are like, no, I know what you're thinking.
You're just sending me to my room.
Yeah, you hate him just like me.
Yeah.
But is JFK got shot? Yeah. Probably by one of them. I don't believe the theories.
LBJ probably shot him so he could pass this bill.
That's a theory. Yeah. That's the QAnon back then. I heard LBJ shot JFK because he was sick of another man with a 3-letter name walking around the office.
I'm the only 3-letter around here that gets to say what's what.
And also, I wonder if there were people that are probably like, it's probably gonna be like a couple week thing.
It'll pass.
COVID, we're like, it's 2 weeks.
They won't even want to come to our restaurants.
Yeah,
we don't have much in common.
I heard we don't even use salt. That's when when white people's food got better because black people started eating there and being like, this shit sucks.
Yeah, can we have some salt? And they're like,
Please.
hey, we got to buy some salt, I guess.
What the hell?
But not everybody wanted to eat their vegetables. Not everybody wanted to grow up and kind of abide by this. And one of those organizations was called the FBI.
They were still
trying to eat pizza and French fries all day long. Okay, they didn't want to. They were a little suspect. And especially J. Edgar Hoover, who was the head of the FBI for like 45 years.
Yeah, it was like the longest. I mean, who's
Crazy.
been in something for 45 years?
He's the king of the FBI.
Yeah.
He's the FBI emperor.
He looks like Darth Vader without his helmet, this guy.
Yeah, he does.
Mean, a little bit. If you give him a little bit of a regular skin, that's DV without the helmet.
Yeah, he's pale and blue. But they launched this thing called the COINTEL protocol, which I read COINTEL.
Me too.
I'm like, what is that? Like some kind of computer the size of a coin?
Is that a chip?
Like a COINTEL processor? So the goal of COINTEL, it sounds like a Coinstar.
Yeah.
Like you put all your coins and get some.
Oh, I miss Coinstars.
They're still in grocery stores.
Really?
You can visit one today if you want. I'll
store?
take you to one.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll take a picture. You know, you next to the Coinstar. They have massive fees, though. It's like 20% of the coins you put in, they take.
Whoa.
And then give you cash for the rest. Slap you in the ass on your way out.
Wow.
It's rude. Spit a penny at you.
Yeah.
Get out of here. You make a lot of gulping, gasping noises on the pod. Don't stop. In the COINTEL protocol, it started, I guess it was kind of well-meaning in the beginning. Well, because it was anti-Soviet. There's the whole like Cold War going on, like escalating tensions with Russia, and they're like, look, we need to see who in our country is a subversive communist agent.
And we need to, they're like, we need to smoke them out.
We need to smoke them out. And the interesting thing about the FBI's suspicion of the black community is that they thought they were very susceptible to communism. Because they're in this oppressed state. So they're like, instead of fixing the oppressed state, we will surveil them and make sure they're not communist.
It's so shitty.
It's like they're fixing the symptom, not the disease.
Yeah, they're like, look, we know we live in a country where we beat these people down, give them no rights.
Which is why we got to keep an extra close eye on them in case they want to turn red.
Yeah.
The only thing worse than black is red.
And in that case, we need to kill them.
Exactly.
So,
or we need to hire someone to kill them.
But it was weird.
And then kill that person.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was weird that they talked Republicans and people that were I guess it was mostly Republicans, and there was also kind of a general view of like if you are a sexual person, you're a deviant person, and that means you could be more susceptible to violence and all these other crimes.
Yeah, but it was especially black sexuality.
Yeah,
they were very scared of.
Yes.
They're like, this is a guy who is hot, who's pulling women, and they used the COINTEL protocols. I don't even know, powers, I guess, to illegally bug and wiretap MLK's hotel rooms, his houses and whatever. So they hear him. They hear him having affairs, and they stop investigating him as a communist and more start just trying to discredit him as a leader.
Yeah, because they hear there's people spying on him with women coming to the hotel room.
Exactly, and they start taking down notes. Like the FBI is just gathering all this information,
There's
but they
a file
start
where
trying
it's
to
like-
focus on his personal life to take him down personally.
I wonder who was you're on the team to listen in on MLK fuck. There's people who knew how he liked it. There's people who are like, yeah, he liked to be spanked.
Maybe
He liked his rights in the bedroom, not in the bed. He liked his rights in the streets, not in the sheets.
Yeah, there were guys whose job it was to listen to MLK have
Fuck.
sex.
And then be like, he's gonna. They probably got so used to it.
Yeah.
Like it.
Well,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is
they're
there probably was
probably-
one guy who was like, "This is great."
They're probably taking bets on like who's gonna like when he's gonna finish and stuff.
I bet it was like when you're doing comedy and someone's on stage and you're like, "Yeah, they got 5 minutes left. I can pee. I'm not gonna miss anything
Right,
new.
that's
Yeah,
funny.
I'll be back."
Oh, I know where he is in the act.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
get it, yeah.
This is the flip.
Well, the kind of horrific thing about all the spying on MLK is in the COINTEL protocol there was a direct memo to that the FBI wanted to prevent the rise of a black messiah, which is what they called
'Cause
MLK.
they knew.
Because they were worried about, they were just worried about a large group of people who they couldn't control.
Mm-hmm.
And then MLK could, right? And so it got so dire in terms of the FBI's opinion that they put together this audio tape that they sent to Coretta.
So weird.
This is like abominable. They sent it to Coretta, and then they sent So it's, by the way, it's an audio tape of MLK having sex.
Well, it's also it's like the best hits.
Oh, it's the greatest.
It's like all clipped together.
Greatest
of
smash.
like, yeah,
Really? It's like
yeah.
a mixtape?
It's like a.
Oh,
They made
an
yeah.
MLK compilation.
Yeah, they did.
Sent it to his wife.
Yeah.
And then Coretta called MLK because she also got a letter and I think maybe a CC or
I
something.
thought they both opened it together or something like that.
I thought Coretta called him over. They both both came upon the evidence eventually, and the letter was basically advising him to kill himself.
Mm-hmm.
And it was written from the perspective, I think, of someone in the movement,
Yeah.
who was disillusioned by his hypocrisy. And he's supposed to be this moral leader, and now he's cheating on his wife, and he's having sex orgies, and there's men and women and dogs and squirrels and
meanwhile, it's like it was an FBI agent who wrote this, pretending to be
Yeah.
somebody within the movement, but obviously not knowing anything and then trying to write about it. That's your first clue.
he's like, yo, MLK, you've
Yeah.
really disappointed me. He's like, I don't think this is anybody I know.
Yeah, and also, how would anybody else be capable to wiretap and record? It's like, well,
Obviously, it's the FBI.
Yeah.
Also, how did Coretta even know it was MLK on the tapes?
that's what I would. I feel like he had to be
I feel
like
like it's just
that.
grunt.
That is not.
Hear those sounds and say that's Zach Russell doing it.
That's Overshadowed, just trying to ape my man. No, I feel like I don't know. I don't know if he's like, I have to come.
I'm coming and I read somewhere I was gonna. I can't.
I have to come on this little white girl and this little black girl. Just come on. We're having
There probably
fun.
were. I hope there were white ladies in there.
I mean, there's white ladies on the March on Washington.
No, I mean in the
In the
sex
tapes. That's
with
what I'm
MLK.
saying. There's white ladies at the march. Why wouldn't there be white ladies, back in the bedroom?
I'm saying I hope there was.
I'm saying I think there were.
Good.
I don't know why we're fighting.
Let's get a list of the names. Pull up the
Pull up
flight,
the list,
pull
Sean.
up the flight log.
That's why we hired you.
Oh, Bill Clinton.
Oh, the black box.
A young Bill Clinton.
Why is it called a black box? Yeah, so they try to convince MLK to kill himself, and the director...
Which would be insane if he actually killed
Oh
himself over
my
that.
God, what if he killed
It'd be
himself?
like-
That would have been pretty tough.
It was like, well, this is...
This
Yeah.
is too much for old MLK.
This is 101 Snapshots of me coming.
I know I've been
I've
through
been
a
on a-
lot,
But I can't
this
be
is
this
it.
humiliated.
Yeah.
I'd take a dog to the face over this. I mean, that's a piercing level of humiliation, though.
I mean, it's just the FBI slut-shaming this poor guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's not right.
And they're listening in. I wonder how that must have felt.
Who's the real freak? They're like, we've compiled hours of your disgusting acts that we've listened to.
Yeah.
J. Edgar Hoover a cross-dresser?
Oh, was he?
Yeah, that's like a long-held, like,
he had to be something.
Oh, Sean,
he had to be something.
Repeat what Sean asked if J. Edgar Hoover was a cross-dresser, and that's like a long-held belief people had.
They would dress up as women, not like, like on stakeouts and stuff, but like, all the guys were like, why are you...
Yeah, we're not...
Why are you doing that?
We're staying in the car today, Jay. And he's like, shh.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm in this.
Yeah, I know.
Like a weird, like pseudo-sex relation with his own mother and shit.
He had to have something for even taking the stance of like, Martin Luther King is too sexual. Anybody who's
like, this guy fucks too much.
Well,
yeah.
Black men in media and like cartoons and stuff were portrayed as these like these uncontrollable sexual like beasts.
Yeah.
A lot of it was based in sexual fear of like they're gonna come in, they're gonna take our women, like To Kill a Mockingbird shit. Like, yeah, he got this suicide package 2 days before he collected the Nobel Peace Prize, which is insane. He's like, should I kill? No, I got a flight. I got to go to Oslo. He's like, I can't kill myself. I got to get this prize first. I mean, the FBI absolutely did kill several black leaders, and they were. I would say, what would be the word? Not accomplices, but allowed the deaths of others. But they kind of stoked tensions that led to the deaths.
Oh,
of
like
some.
Malcolm X and stuff.
Malcolm
like that.
X, yeah, they were very petty. They like started some beef between the black community and the Nation of Islam, and then Malcolm X got shot by a Nation of Islam guy, and then Fred Hampton, the FBI actually did just shoot into the house.
Yeah.
There was an infiltrator in the Black Panthers who got the floor plan. So that the cops knew the angle to shoot through the door, to shoot him while he was sleeping, like in bed. It's fucking crazy. I guess the reason why they didn't move so fast against MLK is that, as opposed to Malcolm X or Fred Hampton, is because he was calling for peace. And he did say, he was like, MLK himself was like, I'm honestly amazed that black people are still patriots, like given how you guys treat us. So he's like, your fears are, I get it, but no, we're still... America. I was biking past the Statue of Liberty. You ever have an embarrassing moment where you're like, I fucking love this country, and you're like, I can't believe I just thought that.
You saw that when you saw that?
Dude, I was biking past the Statue of Liberty, and the sky was burning. It was bursting with just like 5 p.m., like almost sunset, but still very bright. The birds are chirping. It's been a nice bike ride. I'm along the water, and I just see Lady Liberty reaching up to the sky, and I'm like, God damn it, I love this country.
It's better to be that than the opposite. I don't like the people that are. I'm not. But it wouldn't.
If you would have been emotions, love.
Fuck this land.
Fuck this place.
Stolen land.
Kids in cages.
Yeah, I mean, it's better to be a little happier.
Yeah, I know.
You're a country.
It was just so funny. I was like, oh God, it's like when you start singing along to Nickelback, you're like, wait, no. But then you let yourself have it.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not talking about America. I'm just talking about embarrassing love. Like the love you have for me. It's embarrassing. I'll do my impression. I do wish MLK addressed his sex life in a speech. Like, you know what I mean? To get ahead of it. Get ready, guys. There have been rumors churning about in the rumor mill of my sexual dalliances, of the man who stands before you today, bearing his face between the thighs of voluptuous young parishioners. And to that I say, who cares? I'm doing really good work. You expect me to be nonviolent without busting the occasional nut? Well, you're crazy. I'm pretty hot. The FBI has called me the most dangerous black man in America, and you expect me not to get it wet? You know what I mean? How is he going to lead this nonviolent movement without having some kind of outlet?
I agree. I want him to be
so much pressure. He's not a drug addict. I mean, if his worst vice is philandering on the road, then I don't want to be right.
Here.
You could have just opened pit of like, me and my wife were swingers, bro.
I don't know if that would have worked.
No. He was a fucking minister.
Yeah.
You think he could have cited the swinging 60s and it would have cut him loose?
He's like, look, I'm a man of my time.
You're also like, everyone cheats on their
Oh, yeah.
I know, but the fact that he's such a moral leader, people are a little...
I don't know, because it didn't seem to do anything.
Well, nobody wanted to believe it because people think the FBI is out to get him, which they were. And so I don't think everything in their documents are true, but I don't think everything in their documents are false. I think
everything that is... the only thing that was true is that he was banging ladies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is they said that he was.
Yeah. But, I mean, they tried so hard to get other people to publish it, magazines to publish it, the newspapers to publish it, and nobody ever touched it.
I think it might. Yeah, I know. They sent it. They leaked it to a bunch of black ministers in the area, and nobody published it.
Yeah.
I think they were all like, look, if this is happening, so be it. Mm-hmm. You know, we're not going to, like, ruin getting rights because one guy's having sex.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so funny. The FBI's like, what do you think about that? And he's like, I'd still like to be a person.
Yeah, you know.
I don't want to get this
I'd
guy.
like to eat at any lunch counter.
Yeah, I kind of want to try that club sandwich I've been hearing about.
Yeah.
This guy can get a blowjob.
It's funny. Yeah, it's funny that they thought that was going to bring him down.
Yeah, like people are going to be like,
what?
Martin Luther King? It's like everybody's...
Martin Luther King?
Even the priest had a couple of boys on the side. Whoa!
Hey, but, now we're podcasting.
Yeah, right. Everybody. I mean, no, this was the times of extreme...
That's a good point.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, is it with adults? Buddy, you don't want to know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Good
yeah,
point.
everybody, but cheating and all that stuff was, I mean, even up until our parents' generations. I mean, my dad as a kid I didn't know about till I was 20.
Yeah.
So.
Sure. The regular MLK.
So, yeah, he's a
Some say I've been unfaithful to my wife. So what? Who fucking cares?
All right, let me try.
Do you know how many rights I've given you?
And you won't let me bust a couple of nuts?
7 of you are flashing your titties at me right now. What am I supposed to do with that information? That was a bad one. I trailed
that
off.
one was okay. I don't know. Yeah, that
was a bad one. I'll tell you when it's bad.
I'm Charles Luther. I don't even know how to do his voice. Charles Monkey.
No. I have a dream. All right, we're moving on.
Everybody actually, you guys did this one by yourselves.
We did this one at the executive production of Sean Barry. This has been a Sean Barry production. So in 1965, what happened? Oh, now we're in Louisville, Kentucky. We're back to AD. All right,
yeah,
we're back
AD
to
goes
the
to
family
Kentucky.
man. We're not talking about this womanizer, this tomcat anymore. We're talking about AD. AD got a lot of black preachers from around the country to join the SCLC. So AD is just pumping new members into the SCLC, just like feeding the machine.
Fueling the train full of coal.
Well, maybe we don't need to call him coal. And AD's focusing on a new chapter, which is open housing. So MLK's legacy is civil rights, black people being treated as equal citizens, huge. But AD is really focused on getting black people to live, wherever they want.
Yeah.
And not just in separate communities, segregated. Because, your neighbors are, I don't even know what kind of point. It's important.
Yeah, they were denied so many things. They were in weird, if it wasn't the ghettos, it was weird rural areas where there was nothing around and everybody was segregated, and it was totally acceptable to be like, can I get a tour of the house? And they're like, yes, I know this is only over the phone, but
I could tell.
Yeah.
What's crazy is like legislation, like the Emancipation Proclamation, MLK's I Have a Dream speech was all about how that was a bad check to black Americans. He was like, you guys issued it, but we can't cash it.
Yeah.
Like, we're not actually free. So legislation like the Civil Rights Bill, the Fair Housing Act, all of that is step one. Because you know that when the legislation's enacted, just like the truce, it's not over.
Yes.
That's the first step. That's like, then you're going to have resistance for enforcing the law.
Exactly, and then there's gonna be loopholes that they try to get. They're people, but they can't live near me.
And it's I don't know how loopholey that is. It's kind of
what do you think?
I guess you're right. Yeah. You find other ways to discriminate, but so after years of negotiating and AD trying to figure out how to integrate housing, they again take to the streets in government homes and offices in Kentucky, and in Louisville they start a movement around the country. In 1967, they're arrested. AD's hit in the eye and beaten, and so then he comes on, wearing sunglasses, and he's like, "We plan to continue to march nonviolently." Hello, I'm AD King.
Hello, I am
voice
AD.
of God.
I am also AD King. I don't sound anything like him. He did have a voice that sounded like MLK too, which was nice.
It's
they both had great voices. It would suck.
Morgan L.K. Freeman.
That's another thing is
he's deeper.
Thank God they had good voices.
Oh,
they just had shitty
voices.
like. Yeah. My stomach hurts, and I want rights for our people. Yeah, I just got a feeling this is kind of annoying for everybody else.
I just think I'm not really thrilled about the whole situation. So
I'd like to live near you. It looks nice. You got a backyard.
You got a good lawn.
It's
like a very high-pitched drum.
Okay.
So MLK and the SCLC suddenly shift their resources to Kentucky because they were in Chicago, and they're like, we're going to go help AD. He's been hit in the eye. He can't see. He needs some guidance.
I wish there was another brother, BC King.
Yeah, BC, AD, and JC. JCC, I don't know. So, I love
Jesus
it.
Christ King.
Jesus Christ King. Do you want to talk about the Derby? I kind of like this because it's a little anticlimactic, but it's still pretty cool.
I don't remember with the Kentucky Derby. This is where AD said they were going to go down there and they were going to disrupt the Derby, and it was publicly known, right?
Right. It's like, how are we going to Project C this up?
How are we going to do the Kentucky Derby's here? What are we going to do? And it felt like initially the public knew about this because they
Scooby-Dooby-Doo.
What?
I don't know.
Scooby Derby Doo.
Yeah.
Where are you?
I don't
we
know.
got
You're not
some
in Belmont.
rights to pass, yeah. I know you're sitting in.
And protesting. We got some jails to fill, yeah.
But if you come down to the Derby and we stop all of the horses, will we be able to live? Let's do the whites. All right.
That's a lot of syllables.
I didn't know what else. I was making it up.
You did it, man. You
hey,
did
man,
it.
send
Hey,
it back. That's my MLK impression.
Yeah, so let me go ahead.
I think initially they wanted to stop the race. Didn't they want to?
They were being a little coy, and I
Yeah.
like that.
Because
they were like, are you guys, they're like, okay, do you plan to watch the horses? And he's like, well, I don't know if that's what I came down here for.
It's fun in the interviews, too, because they can just be like that.
They're being
like,
little
maybe,
sneaky boys.
Who knows?
I don't know.
What do you think?
What do you think I'm going to do?
News reporter's like,
He's like, are you going to, I have money on this.
yeah.
Yeah. I have like 500 on Lucky Jack. Do you know how much money that is now? In 1960? $500. You know how much money that's going to be when people talk about this 70 years later on a podcast?
It's all in crypto. And then the KKK got involved. And they were like, look, you don't fuck with our horses.
No.
We like those things.
No.
We ride those things to kill you guys.
Yeah.
And we like
Save
to
a
watch
horse,
them.
ride a Klansman. Go on.
And they said
so it's the people don't know whether it's going to be halted or
the
not.
Capulets.
I like the uncertainty.
Yeah, and the KKK was like, if you guys fuck up these races, it's gonna be bad.
And people are worried about the race because the Pegasus Parade, which is, I don't know, some kind of weird horse float parade beforehand,
man, that'd be fun.
is canceled.
Yeah.
So everyone's like, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
The water's receding. The tidal wave's coming. And then day of the Derby comes, and they don't disrupt it.
No.
They have some little demonstration out in the parking lot or something.
Good move, I think.
Good move. Good move.
Good.
I support it.
Really good move.
I think the march was a lot of people, not as many as mine. I had a lot more people there.
Who's this now?
Sean, you're fired. If you criticize my impressions, it's the one thing I have. It was Trump, obviously.
Okay. If you say so.
You know what? Someone was making fun of the movie yesterday. Like, this is all CGI. This is green screen.
What
Fucking
movie?
you make a movie. You do an impression, Sean.
Oh, what movie?
I don't do impressions.
That's right. Sean's like, and neither do you. I don't do impressions, and neither do you. What if you came out and what?
I just nailed an impression.
I would
That'd be
love
great.
it. I would love that.
I can't do Trump. What's Trump? Hello. That's pretty good, right? Hello.
Yeah.
Hello.
If you hear Charles's,
My name is Martin Luther King.
very good things.
There we go. Very good things. That's him. This is also my Martin Luther King and my Jay Leno.
So you hit my death. I'm on
hit my
fire.
death?
I've been burned. I was
been
almost burned to death.
Thank
you. All right, so we're at the Kentucky Derby.
Very gay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's not bad. Georgia Powers, a dog. But this was pretty funny. The most important bill of the year was daylight savings time.
Oh, this was really weird to me.
This was. You want to say it?
No, I didn't understand
Okay.
it. I didn't understand the daylight savings times because they came to her and they were like, why was it important that the time you got involved? This confused me a little bit.
Okay, so during the Derby, they're trying to pass. So they have this demonstration to forward the agenda of fair housing, and Georgia Powers is like a local congressman in Kentucky
Yeah.
who AD invites to the race and everything, and she obviously wants open housing. She's a black woman. She's like, let's do this. Apparently, the most important bill for Kentucky, so this is why, is like what time zone they were going to be in. Is Central Time or Daylight Savings Time? So I think Eastern or Central or whatever. And like that was, and I just love her line. She's like, I don't care what time it is.
Yeah.
I just want to be able to live where I want to live. And she's like, everyone you got to vote for Daylight Savings Time, go get to vote for open housing. And then I'll vote for Daylight Savings Time. And so the legislation passed in Kentucky. So in Kentucky, and which kind of paved the way for Chicago and all these other states and cities to have their own fair housing ordinances. But it's not until MLK is shot in Memphis in a hotel that they actually passed the Fair Housing Act, which I think is why nobody knows about AD. Because because AD's like big thing was the Fair Housing Act. Like that was his baby. But I think the reason that it was passed is because after MLK died, dude, you're talking about AD's house getting bombed. There was rioting. There was huge rioting after MLK died. They're like, fuck this. You took out our guy. Like no more nonviolence. This sucks. And then LBJ was like, all right, you can have fair housing. So I think people thought that MLK's martyrdom was to credit for the fair housing.
Sure, that's a good.
I think
theory.
they associate. I think
Kinda
his death overshadows AD's biggest accomplishment.
Yeah. All right, so MLK gets assassinated at a hotel, and his brother
ADK
ADK was there
right below him.
Yep, they heard the. Apparently, they were all just having a good time, and then MLK went to go get ready for dinner. This guy died on an empty stomach.
They were having pillow fights.
Yeah,
I'm not even kidding. I think they were having pillow fights.
Yeah,
that's so fun.
Pillow fights are important.
They are. We should bring them back.
I try to have one once a week.
Do you with Heather?
Yeah.
Does she fight back?
She bleeds. She always loses. But I said we got to continue.
It's because you never let her pick the one with the zipper.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
always yours.
Yeah, I got the weighted pillow. That she doesn't realize.
It's for stress. All right, so MLK's assassinated by he's sniped on a balcony by this guy James Earl Ray.
Mm-hmm. Was he sniped?
I mean, yeah.
I thought somebody like ambushed him.
A rifle. We thought he got knifed, like.
No, I thought
John
it was like
Lennon.
up close and purse.
Or John Lennon got shot, but it was up close and personal. No, it was on a balcony. He got shot from afar.
Wow, I remember. I
think so.
It wasn't a cannonball.
Yeah, it might have been J. Edgar Cannonball. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you're thinking, but it doesn't really matter. James Earl Ray shoots him, and they find this guy, pops up at like London Heathrow Airport, trying to Skype with the, trying to defect, be little Benedict Cumberbatch, And so they extradite him, arrest him. And I think it's all cleaned up a little too convenient, a little too nice, you know?
Yeah, apparently he was just
They're like,
poor.
hey, we caught the guy. The FBI makes a big stink about we caught him. It's over. The investigation doesn't need to. But
it's just, I don't think the FBI was good. I don't know if they've honestly, I mean, they're pretty shitty about covering things up. I think it's just because they think the general population is so stupid. A lot of like, hey, guys, look, we found him.
Right. Also, they're like, a lot of people are like, well, I don't think they hired him, but they certainly could have known that it was going to, they were surveilling him. MLK. Like, they would also probably see the guy who's trying to hunt him.
Yeah.
Like, who's this car that's also with us?
I don't know. Maybe
who's been looking at him for 8 hours as well.
Also has recording equipment.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's a guy in a van who's also listening.
2 ice cream vans on the street. Yeah. And we're one of them. So
maybe that guy just really likes his work.
Yeah.
Just wants to. Maybe he's upset. Maybe he's MLK's stan.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
why you don't write me, man?
And dear MLK, I've written you every day.
It's really fucked up. I haven't heard back. You got me in a really bad way.
Nice.
Thanks, man.
Completed the rhyme.
Thanks, dude.
So nobody buys it.
You making fun of me for yes anding? You making fun of me?
I thought it was funny.
Yeah?
And you. Yeah.
Go ahead. All right, my balls.
There was a podcast recently where somebody got punched. It was like a rapper. No, it was like a rapper podcast. He got like spit and punched on. It was fun to watch.
Christ.
Love man, so many white rappers these days.
Yeah.
They really sponsor every clip they got on Instagram. Every time I scroll, it's another white rapper. It really. I don't know why Instagram is feeding me this
plague.
They must hear me record my album.
This wasn't the dream he had.
Yeah, this wasn't the dream at all.
And white rappers and actually, you know what? Just black rappers. We don't want any white rappers.
Put that in the bill. That's one thing. Those were his last words.
Throw those rappers out. You ever heard that old joke? What do you do with rappers? You throw them in the trash. That was like an old white dad joke.
Oh boy.
Yeah. You remember when your old white dad would tell you that?
Yeah, your old white dad would be like, put them in their own schools.
Yeah.
That's what you do to the rappers.
And give us our buses back.
I don't like them.
All right, so MLK dies.
Yes.
But A.D. King not satisfied.
No. He becomes obsessed with the death of his brother. Nobody's buying the FBI's portrayal of who the murderer was.
The lone gunman.
He smells something fishy, just like he could smell that bomb in his house initially when he walked in on that fateful day and said, "Run!" And he goes, "Look, I'm like Liam Neeson. I got a special set of skills. I'm not going to rest until I find MLK's shooter for real."
For real, for real.
That's all he focuses on. And the thing is, his family was also used to, look, he got a problem. Your brother's dead. Get over it.
You're obsessed.
You're living in the past.
You're a little obsessed.
AD, I get it. You're from the past, but you're living be a little BC. I couldn't make it work. It still doesn't make
close.
It doesn't make sense.
You're a little AD. Stop being so BC.
Yeah.
Get a little AD. I see.
Yeah.
After death. He couldn't get out of the D.
But his family was also, so he starts to track people down. Starts to track people down.
Charles is contracted downs.
Sorry, it's on the ups. It's everywhere. And everybody knew he was obsessed with trying to hunt down who killed Martin Luther King. The family was used to him being on the phone and yelling and screaming, but apparently there was one particular day where he maybe found who killed MLK because the son heard AD on the phone. I think also the daughter.
They all hear him.
Everybody's in the house, and this was a little bit after this is a week after he walked his daughter down the aisle.
Yeah.
The daughter comes in, hears AD on the phone, and he goes, "I know you killed my brother, and I'm not going to rest until justice is served."
Yeah, so he's out. He's beating on doors. He's making phone calls. He's stirring up.
He's got posters on walls of MLK. Killed. Have you seen Assassinator? Pull tabs of his home phone.
Right.
And his kids are a little used to these conversations because they've gotten death threats.
Yeah, but he's getting extra spicy of late.
Yeah.
He's drinking more too, so he's like he's struggling with the death of his brother, and
I mean, it's his best friend, and a cultural icon, somebody who's changed.
It's tough.
And then I think it was the next morning, after that conversation, maybe who was on the other line? My guess is Hoover.
Hooves,
Hooves on the other line, and
Whose line is it anyway?
Hooves' blood is on your hands.
Or the blacks don't matter.
And I think at that point Hoover was like, "Pull the plug. This is just go do it."
Drain the pool.
And this guy was his AD's son walks outside and sees AD at the bottom of the pool in the fetal position, allegedly drowned. And then when they pull the body out of the water, there was no water in his lungs.
No water in the lungs.
So water did not kill this guy.
Which is crazy that water doesn't just get in your lungs after being in the pool.
Yeah,
at the bottom of the pool. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Water's like, ew, that's a dead guy.
Yeah, a little gross.
I don't want to be in there.
So yeah, apparently he was dead before he hit the water.
Yes. And he had bruising.
Bruises. So he's, I think, curled up being like, fuck, that hurt. And yeah, there's no autopsy. There's no, everybody thinks he was killed, but nobody really knows.
When they went to, the family.
By whom?
The family knew it was fishy. And they were like, you gotta give us the information. This is our father. You need to provide us with the cause of death and autopsy. And apparently every time they called, they're like, oh yeah, the guy that does autopsy is out. And even when he's back, we don't know where he is.
They're giving him the runaround. And this is the craziest part. He died the morning of the moon landing. So that's the second reason I think why AD is especially forgotten about. Because his big act was overshadowed by MLK's death. And then his death is overshadowed by the moon landing. So these huge events in his life are not even spoken about. Like the media is not covering him at all. So, everyone's looking at the skies.
It's weird that there was nothing.
I know.
Was there like a local pay? I hope there was some within the community. It had to be huge.
Yeah, within the community, but I mean, I don't remember learning about him in school.
Just so strange.
So what else do we got here? I mean, that's kind of it. Except for the breadbasket movement. I forgot about that. Do you know what the breadbasket movement is? It was just kind of a footnote, but it was also one big thing that AD did, which was AD and Fred Bennett boycotting different businesses.
Oh yeah, they were like, look, what was the ultimatum?
I think they were just being. Like they were shortchanging people. Maybe that was the buses. I don't know. Businesses were just being dicks and not hiring black people or something. And so they boycotted like Coca-Cola, all these other things, and I think leveraged rights to be hired there and to shop there equally.
It's nice to know that they had that power. that the
pretty cool.
businesses were like, what are you going to do about it? And they're like, we're not going to shop here. And like, good, we don't like you anyway. And then they're like, oh, you are a staple of our business.
Yeah. One color I like is money.
Yeah, if I like green, I'm going to have to...
I can get green from black? I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, going to have to fake like black.
Yeah. So, yeah, AD died and wasn't really remembered, but I hope that people actually learned about, some guy that they really didn't know anything about in this episode, because I think this is a big figure that nobody talks about.
Mm-hmm. I mean, who knows if the what if we lived in where the housing bill... I just don't understand, that wasn't passed yet.
I know.
It seems so weird that it's later into MLK's campaign that there was still the housing. There's still, they were really clinging on.
Yeah, but you can tell from the interview questions that people ask MLK during that time that people just don't get it. They're like, why do you think it is that black people have such trouble? Is it because of their blackness? Yeah. And MLK is like, it's because we were slaves?
It's crazy.
We were like things?
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah. I had a buddy in the pandemic. I don't talk to him anymore, but he went all that's why Chicago's violent. They're a violent people, and I was like,
yeah, exactly. I mean, Hillary Clinton, super predader.
Yeah, let me out of the car, buddy.
Yeah.
Let me out of the black guy was driving. We were in the back.
Under duress.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, and then another lady interviewing MLK was like, so I mean, you say you're nonviolent, but all of these demonstrations always end in violence. And he's like, I would ask you to look at who the violence is being enacted on.
He really dealt with child brains,
stupid people,
and then he was so composed. Even somebody that you think about, like a smart person, like Jon Stewart, would not be able to be like. He'd be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
I think he's approached everybody with compassion, so he didn't have that MSNBC snark.
You're right. I think he probably just was he was like these people are just so ignorant, and I need to help.
Need to bring him into the light.
Yeah.
Yeah. If he had a podcast, he'd be our recurring guest.
The problem would be, why don't you look at the... Yeah.
Hello, I'm Zach, I'm Charles, and I'm Martin Luther King Jr. Welcome to Overshadowed. What were you going to say about AD or King?
I forgot.
It's the best thing. This is my last question before we ask who would you rather be, which is a tough one. Of anyone in the story, and you can't say Bull Connor. Come on now. I was going to say, were you worried at all during Obama's administration? I was shocked that he got out of it unscathed.
I
was worried. I was like,
kind
of like when shootings were happening in movie theaters, how you're kind of on alert.
I thought, I had those thoughts where I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if someone actually tried.
Yeah, I don't know if it was something my mom got me worried about, because she would mention, she's like, I'm just worried he's going to get shot. Attempts.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, you don't want to tell people of failed attempts, because then people are going to American Ninja Warrior it and be like, well, I could do it.
Yeah, I could do it better.
Yeah.
Well, there was a guy that sent him poison in the mail.
Oh,
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Man.
I got stopped because
It's a vial with a skull on it.
That guy, that's like
well,
yeah.
Come on.
I don't know. Why don't you put
obvious.
that one in the maybe poison?
from the Legion of Doom.
Yeah.
It's a companion podcast to the Legion of Skanks.
The return address just says no Obama.
Yeah, I think that's really all we got on AD. I mean, who would you rather be? It's kind of easy.
Yeah.
I think you'd be MLK.
Yeah. A little bit of second choice Hoove.
Long life.
Long life. Well, yeah, I'd live forever.
Yeah.
I mean, that guy was a monster.
Upgrading dresses.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Something's wrong with the
Cut
guy.
a mean figure.
Yeah.
And that something wrong is cross-dressing.
So no, if he's so out about being you can't be sexual, he has to be he has to have the most.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would rather be MLK for sure, but AD is still an amazing person to be.
Right.
Mostly
it's kind of like Mac and Jackie Robinson, although Mac really got shafted.
Yeah, I also wouldn't want to be a young father.
Yeah, I don't want to be a young dad.
Don't want to be a young dad.
He was in college and then went back like 12 years later.
Ah.
Yeah, I know. You're the old guy in the college class.
Yeah.
That's got to be tough.
That's Martin Luther King's brother, dude.
Apparently he was a great dad, though.
No, I think he was a great person overall.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the one that I think learning about everybody that was in the movie and in the family, you listen to them talk and you're like, you're an amazing person, huh?
Everybody. Literally everybody.
Amazing person.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. So I think we're probably going to wrap it up there, guys. Thanks for listening to the pod. You can follow Overshadowed at Overshadowed_podcast on Instagram. Check us out on YouTube. full video episodes. We got Sean in the producer chair helping us out, making the videos better. So thank you for that.
What's that thing called in the pirate ship? Crow's Nest?
Crow's Nest. We got Sean in the Crow's Nest, squawking, dropping cameras. You can follow me at Zach Russell Comedy. Wow, you allowed it to drop.
The camera drop is that thing that if it happens, the person gets to.
I kind of have some leeway. You drop my camera. You can follow me at Zach Russell Comedy.
You can follow me at jedgarhoover.com. Please join the movement. We need to bring back his leadership. No, I'm Charles_Engle on everything. Please follow us, listen to the podcast, leave a review, write a letter, and we will read it live.
We will. Actually, if you want to write in with any questions or comments you have about the pod, any requests for me to do more MLK, you got a request?
The other day, Bruce Springsteen's sister.
Oh, okay. If you have any requests or comments, overshadowedpod@gmail.com. Sean, where can they follow you?
Follow me at Sean Berry Comic on Instagram and TikTok, and that's about it.
All right. So
and YouTube.
We'll cut that.
YouTube.
Thanks for listening, guys. We'll be back next week with something. Absolutely. But, that's been it. Hope you guys enjoy your lives. Until next time.